guys, we're here today at Southern Distilling in Statesville, North Carolina.
So come along as we go through the tour to see how it's made, get a little history on the on whiskey and on the distillery itself, and enjoy a tasting of whiskey afterwards.
Yeah, we may even have a surprise guest or two. While we wait for our tour, we got to walk around the showroom. It's a really nice collection of whiskey memorabilia and Southern Star branded merchandise. Also found out that Southern Star is a partner with the Carolina Panthers. So go look for these bottles in your local ABC store. It's a really cool display of all of their various products. On the other side, there's a lounge area that you can sit and relax and enjoy the cocktail from the beautiful bar. The menu has some really interesting cocktail items on it, or you can have them make one of your own.
So like any distillery, when you start up, on day one you're making clear, on day two you can't turn out a true whiskey, or let alone a bourbon, of any good quality unless you buy out from somebody. So we bought out from MGP out of Indiana. It's pretty standard practice. They're a contract distillery. But in the last 9 months to a year, we have moved on to a point now every blend that we have is us from start to finish, because we've crossed that threshold. And we didn't do it in just 2 years. It took us a little over 4 years to get to that point, because we wanted to turn out a quality product. We weren't just going to rush it to have it. We wanted to make sure it was right. So a little bit of history about us. We are the brainchild of a married couple, Pete and Vienna Barger. Vienna's from California. We don't hold that against her anymore. Pete's a local. But he went to college in California, and that's where they met at a Grateful Dead concert, and they still have the van. We were going to be a vineyard. The mindset was we were going to be a vineyard. But when they did the soil analysis, all that red clay that we all complain about proved that they were not going to be able to yield a decent turnout, at least not to the quality that they wanted to do. So they went back to the drawing board. Pete did a lot of research. He's a process engineer by trade, and found out that at one time or another in the late 1800s, prior to Prohibition, that Statesville was named the liquor capital of the world. There was a 3 to 4 month time frame that we were able to turn out over 60,000 gallons of white liquor in this area and ship it out. That was more than Scotland, Ireland, and Canada at that time combined. So the local newspaper found out about that and ran with it and dubbed us the liquor capital of the world. So when we opened in 2017, we hit the ground running. So we're going to get a better look at them outside, but we started with this line of fermenters right here on the far left. That is 3 fermenters and then a beer well. Okay, so it took them about 9 months to think that they didn't make the right choice and they put too much in. But business grew so hard and so fast that we added in 6 additional fermenters within 2 years. So we went from 3 to 9. In the 2.5 years that I've been here, we've installed number 11 and number 12. This facility right now turns out anywhere between 60 and 70 barrels a day. The new facility will do over 220 a day. Grain glass is a very important thing for us. So right outside here is all of our grain housing. What I mean by that is that's where we keep all of our grain when we're not using it. All these silos on the right contain either corn, wheat, rye, or malted barley. Those are our 4 main grains. Right now we are cooking wheated, 70, 16, 14. So we are cooking Paragon. So when we go to our tasting, you get to taste Paragon, you'll know what I'm talking about. Right now, 86% of the grain that we use in a cook comes from within 40 miles of our building right now. We employ local farmers as much as possible. So all that humidity coming off of it. The mash itself is only about 88 degrees. We keep them cool, we keep them regulated. We have to do that for alcohol production. What you're seeing is the exothermic release of carbon dioxide. Yeast is a living organism. It likes to eat. Yeast eats sugar. And from eating that sugar, it creates alcohol. Look, it will all look a little bit different. So you saw that one there was very alive, very active. This one is on the end of its life, as it were. This one is pretty sedentary. This one is soon to go to the beer well. This one right here has hit its 48-hour mark. I know that by looking at it. I can see certain little evidentiary things. It's not moving. It's just kind of still. It's got what we call our grain cap on it. So this copper pipe right here is how we will mix this. As you saw in those 2 empty ones that we passed by, there is nothing inside here that creates motion. So we'll hook this line up to air, jam it down in the middle, and start mixing it up like a milkshake. Once it's ready, it transfers over into that beer well. The beer well is in constant motion at all times. We keep it in constant motion, but it is also in a constant state of draining because it is feeding our column. It is giving the column all the mash it needs to convert to alcohol. This fermenter right here is about 12 hours old. So it'll be the coolest looking firm y'all get to see on the tour. Almost like a brain, that's how I was kind of equated. To me it looks like the surface of a brain. The exchangeable thing is called our mash cooler. This is one of Pete Barger's brainchild. So what this mash cooler does, it allows us to take what used to be 8 hours and condense it down to 3.5 hours. Thanks to that, and the size of our cooks now, we go through over 20 tons of grain every day. So we burn through the grain. All that waste, when it's done in the column, we then ship into trucks in the back, 2 18-wheelers that get empty 3 times a day. And that will go to local cattle farms and pig farms to sustain their livestock. So we give back as much as we can because it contains 0 alcohol. So that beer well sends all that mash into Sweet Mother here. Sweet Mother is our 40-foot tall, 18-inch in diameter column. The reason I say we don't touch the column is at least 212 degrees every second of the day. Our low wines are essentially the first run. It's that rough alcohol. It's not bad, it's not great. We could put it in a bottle and sell it. We'd be out of business in a couple months. Our doubler right here, or thumper, is the sealed, it's kind of our pressure cooker. So what I've got here for you is a low wine stand. If you'd like, take one, taste, touch. This is a really fun tactile experiment. Take one of those for me. Dip your finger in it, you'll kind of feel how oily it is. Okay, and not oily in a nasty way, but oily just as in fusel oils out of the grain. It's still got some of the tails in it. Alcohol has 3 forms while being distilled: heads, hearts, and tails. So take a sip. Don't feel like you have to finish it. I don't expect anybody to finish it. You'll feel that almost stereotype. Can if you like. Now what you're tasting here is a wheated liquor, a wheated whiskey as of right now. It is not bourbon as it sits. Grandpappy 100 years ago in the woods used to use on steroids. This is Hey Baby. So this is the craftsmanship side of it. So this is our small batch. We turn out 60 to 70 barrels a day. So our goal for every month is between 1,700 and 1,800 barrels. He does 4 barrels a month. So when I say small batch, I truly mean small. A barrel unfilled is about 120 pounds. A barrel filled is about 550. These are all Ed Belfour's barrels. So what he did is, if you look at the size of the barrels, he created different barrel end results. So like the top row up there is a Speyside that's Cooperage Rye 70-20-10. The next one down is a 70-20-10, but he changed char levels. The next one down is a 60-30-10 bourbon. The next one down is a 70-20-10 rye and a different char, different. Everything is different. Terminology-wise, I'll give everybody a breakdown. Don't worry. So bourbon, that tells me that at least number 1, it's a 51% corn mash bill. Okay. Number 2, it has been in a brand new charred white oak vessel. Now the terminology that's going to denote time is the word straight. Straight denotes time. Hunting Creek is a very important brand to us because this is truly heritage in Statesville. What I mean by that is Hunting Creek was a brand of whiskey that existed prior to Prohibition in this area. It's named after the Hunting Creek area. So after Prohibition, like a lot of businesses after COVID, it could not make the comeback. Okay? So this name, all this information for what it was, sat dead in the patent office for over 100 years. Pete and Vienna went through. Pete is our master distiller. Went through and they bought a lot of intellectual property and name brands that they could to bring back spirits to this area that were here before. So that's Hunting Creek. Also a little fun factoid, the young lady on here has an AI-generated composite of both the Barger's daughters, CL and Lily. That's them put together and aged up over 21 for legal sake. But that is their dog Scout. Oh. Cool. So this is the one time I'll give you a tasting note. It's gonna taste like chocolate milk. Awesome. This is
I'll drink yours too.
This is an adult Frosty right here. If you put a good pour into a Frosty from Wendy's, it takes about 45 minutes to refreeze in the freezer. Don't ask me how I know that exactly. We've got a zip code locator. You'll just key it in. It'll tell you everywhere in your area and state where our products are sold.
Oh, perfect. Now that we're done with that amazing tasting, we're going up to see the event center and Pete Barber's private car collection.
Bonneville that he recently took on the Great American Race from Florida to Colorado. So as soon as he check, said it's mine. Tell me how much. And he came home. Yes, it's fully functioning. Yes, we've had to use it before, not for an emergency. And no, he won't let me drive. Every now and then he'll sub them out.
I like his truck.
So that's going to do it for us today at Southern Distilling Company. We do want to thank Southern Distilling Company for inviting us out for this tour. We had a wonderful time. Please come out and see this tour. You will not regret it. And look who we have here with us. It's Courtney and Seth from Jackson Travels.
Hey.
How are you guys?
Hey guys.
How are you?
I'm awesome now. That was such a fun tour.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yes, it was awesome.
What did you think of the tasting?
I really liked it. It was very simple. You could tell that they have a real heart for what they do.
Yes.
Yeah. So we actually bought a little something, some gifts for some people. So, as you said, I definitely would recommend coming as well.
Yes. Highly recommend that. And, please also go check out the Jackson Travels channel. You will not regret that. They have wonderful content as well.
Thank you so much. It's so good to see y'all.
So good to see you too. So, well, we look forward to seeing you on the next excursion.
Bye guys.
They didn't